Howdy everybody. So this is elevator video number 9. In this video I am working on the front spar to the elevator, and then attaching the rib tips, and then attaching the part that hooks onto the horn, or the horn hooks onto. So the rib tips are two really thick pieces of metal that are kind of bent. I talked about those before, and how I straighten those out. And in this video, I'm actually attaching those. And so you use some of the AN470 4-somethings to attach those. So I do have a joke for you guys, and it was given to me by a kid, and so I'm prefacing this joke with just the knowledge that a kid told me this, so I am sharing it. So the question is, do trees poop in the forest? Where do you think number 2 pencils come from? I thought that was pretty cute. For a kid joke, that one was pretty cute, you have to admit. So here I'm just working on the other rib tip for the elevator. It was kind of easier to do them one right after the other. But you do have to be careful, make sure you're working on the right one or the left one, so to speak, depending upon which one you're on, make sure they're lined up correctly. There, I made a mistake, had to drill one out, and that happens often. Not really often, but often enough that you get pretty good at it and you just drill them out. And when I first started this whole project, I was kind of afraid. It's like, oh man, what if I ruin everything? I have to start over. Drilling out rivets is not that big of a deal. I mean, you line it up in the center, you use your center punch, you stick the drill in there, you drill it, and you're good to go. So don't be afraid of that if you're just starting out. It's pretty easy. And you notice I am leaving the squeezer kind of in there because you have to kind of put it in that back section where the corner is, because that's the only place it like fits. So once I have it in there, I just kind of leave it sitting there and then just put the next one in, and then I'm good to go. There's that. See me struggle, try to get it in there after I've gotten it out. And you just kind of leave it, move it, and leave it, move it. And then you're good to go. And that's about it for the rib tips, the tip ribs. I forget what one they are. There we go. So now, this is attaching the front spar to the rib tip. And I'll show you a picture here. There's 4 pieces of aluminum that get put together in that very corner. And so you really can't see it here, and I'm sorry for that horrible picture. You can't even really see what I'm doing. But that very corner has a rivet hole, and there's one in the spar, and there's one in the tip rib, and there's also one in the tip rib skin and one in the elevator skin itself. So 4 pieces of metal get sandwiched together there. And so when you're looking at that, it goes spar and then, or it goes rib and then spar, and then tip rib skin and then elevator skin. And so they kind of overlap each other. And if you did it in any other order, you would have 2 pieces that are kind of in the same orientation. So do you see how the spar fits over the top And same on the other side. The spar is on the outside. I tried, because I wasn't sure how they go. I tried putting them on the inside, but with the spar having this angle kind of tilted up, you would have to bend it down over here. And when you bend this down, it doesn't really fit right in these rivets here, and the rivets in the back don't really line up correctly when you put this part on top of this part. So I did hear back from builder support, and I was correct. So the spar goes on the outside of the tip ribs, then you put the counterbalance skin on, and then you put the elevator skin on. So that's kind of the order of the layers. And when you look at it, once you get them all together, it makes perfect sense. But when you're kind of looking at just the two pieces, you're like, hey, wait a minute, what order does this go in? Because, you know, it's kind of just odd. So just know that the spar goes on the outside of the counterbalance rib. The counterbalance skin goes on top of that, so it'll sit on top of the actual spar flange there, and then the skin itself will sit on top of the counterbalance skin. So just FYI, that's how it fits together. And here I'm just putting the counterbalance skin on, and it says to do every other one to kind of go back and forth between which side you're doing, and so that's why you see me flip it. It ended up being pretty easy to do. You just kind of turn it over, turn it over, turn it over. And it ended up really nice. You'll see a image here. It's perfectly straight, which is really nice. And that's coming up here at the end of this video as I get them. But you do leave the end of that counterbalance skin not riveted because the skin fits on top of it. So see, you can see here, I mean, it's hard to see with the camera, but that is perfectly lined up 90 degrees to the length of the spar. So, and then I am doing the other side there. So there's two sides, two sets of rivets that go on those counterbalance rib tip skins. So that's just me, and I'm gonna fast forward through there. I do basically the same thing. So you flip it over, you do one, you flip it over, you do another one. So I'm gonna skip a few of those things. You'll see that here in a second. So it went pretty well. I actually got both elevators, the what are they called? I forget, the rib tips, the things I'm working on there, done. So that is nice. You'll see the other one get completed in the next video. As always, if you have any questions, have any comments, see something I could do better, or see something I did really well, please leave a comment. Talk to you later. Bye.